Hey everyone, just wanted to stop by real quick for this podcast starts and say you should like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me on all my social medias at John D. Klauser, literally the same name as the name that you subscribe to on this YouTube channel. So enjoy this clip, and I'll see you guys on the other side.
Welcome to The John Show with your host, John Doogie Klauser.
All right. What is going on, everyone? How are you? We are here on a new episode of the Juan Solo Show with your host, me, Juan D. Klauser. And, it is episode 108. What's up? What's going on? How are you? Well, doing well. We are all still here, still alive, kicking it. For the most part, I guess, yeah. It's like, no world wars have happened. It's almost like that happened so long ago. That whole bombing of, the invasion of, I almost said Iraq. Now that was, in retrospect of how we live our life now, that was a heck of a long time ago. But I'm talking about the Ukraine. Yeah, that happened. That was like a few weeks ago, but it feels like it was so long. So yeah, it's just what do they call them? More things the gas prices have gone up. They kind of steadied. It's kind of stayed a thing, which is interesting because what did they say? It's only like 4% of our gas, our oil come from Russia, which I don't understand. Then they want to say the gas prices have to go up. There's no reason to do that. And then didn't we have we were doing open up the pipelines? People were open up the pipelines, but doesn't that cause fracking? I don't see. There's so many things we'll never be. Nothing's ever perfect. And then some people be like, well, this is the reason why we should be vegan. If we just lived off the land and only took what we needed and didn't big buildings and didn't pollute the land, and then, we would be better off. We would be in so much better place. I don't know. Would we? It's it's too late now. Damn, dude, we have Xboxes. We have, we can check. I have a phone. I can look at porn on my phone. I can call someone halfway across the world. There's just so many things. So, I can go to Walmart and get a pound of meat. It's insane. It's just, the world is weird. The life is weird. It's just, this whole thing of God damn, dude, isn't it crazy? Sometimes I think about wouldn't it be really nice if we were born, if I was just alive during I guess there really wasn't any time where there wasn't I was thinking 70s, but there was the Korean War, wasn't there, during the 70s? Or was that the 60s? See, that's the one war where we never talked about that much in high school. You never learned that much. It was one of those ones that was kind of glossed over. Even it was funny because I was talking about to someone the other day about, I know it's a cliche thing, but when we were in elementary school and in middle school and even somewhat in high school, we were taught Thanksgiving was just simple, and it was just a good time. Everyone was there was no injustice. There was no white people killing Indians or Native Americans, and I can say Indians because it's so funny even though I'm even though I'm so light, I can say Indian because I'm Mayan Indian, which is because I'm Latino and I was born in Honduras, so Honduran is Indian, Incan. It's one of the two. You're one of the two. I'm Mayan, and so you're half that, and then you're half Spaniard. So, or Portuguese. I guess I'd be more Portuguese because my last name's Tinoco, so that's Portuguese. So, and their whole thing's crazy insane too, because there was one of their kings. Oh God, that was a crazy story. So there was a king, and he was supposed to marry this princess from one of these I want to say it was don't quote me here. I want to say France, but I'm not for sure. And he ended up going and meeting her, and he fell in love with his sister, with the girl's sister. And then during that time, like they had to have like this this love affair on the side. And then then the father found out about the son of the prince found out that he was dating, or he was pretty much, let's just be honest, he was banging the sister of the woman that he was supposed to marry. And so he ordered, the king of Portugal ordered to the death of this girl, and so they killed her. And the son never forgave him, and he started this huge civil war. And this is like the reason why the Portuguese had their. I think they've only had one civil war. I want to say only one. I know this is of one. There could be multiple civil wars they've had. I'm sure they've had other ones, because this happened in like the 1600s, I believe. And so he started this war. He started this civil war within Portugal, and so then he had to kill everyone. So he killed his father, and then he became king of Portugal. And when he did that, like at this time, it was like 2 years had passed, and he had to and then this is where the story goes in two different ways, because these are how the Portuguese and the Spaniards work, because there's what they believe or what they say, and then there is what is most likely the truth. So what they usually say is like a lot more flamboyant, a more hyperbole version of what happens. So for example, I'll have to give you in Honduras, if you saw basically the equivalent of a $1 bill, there's an Indian on it. It's the only one. It's the only part of the currency in Honduras that has any native people. Everyone else looks like fucking white guys. They look like, Abraham Lincoln and everyone else. They look like, the founding fathers, white guys, but they're mostly Spaniards or Portuganos. So, well, with him, the story is like, he led this whole army of eight different tribes, and they killed a bunch of Spaniards, and then the Spaniards tricked him into meeting with them, and then they ended up shooting him in the back of the head, and then they ate him. Our legend says that they ate him, but their legend's like, we really, we killed the shit out of him, and we did it in a really sneaky way, but we didn't eat him. So it's like their whole thing's a big hyperbole. So anyway, back to the prince and the king. The prince who now has just become the king, he dug up the body of the woman that he loved and pronounced her queen. Now, some people say that this really didn't happen. They just, the king basically kind of wanted that story to get spread, because he wanted to have more of a reputation of being just kind of crazy. That's one story, but the other one is like they tell that story to basically slander his name. It's almost like they say that, what's his name, Adolf Hitler had like a small penis and stuff, one of those little things, like, that's the reason why he was so angry, because he had a small wiener. It's like, okay, I'm pretty sure there's more of a deeper thing than just that. But so anyway, yeah, so that's the story, and yeah, that's basically all I got on that. So funny, I didn't look at any of like the you wouldn't. I just looked at like the list of things I had written down, and it's just like, I'm like, what the hell is the first thing I wrote? So I wrote that if you made a ruler that was just made for measuring penises, and you made it in centimeters, men would learn how to do the metric system like that. If you really want this, you have to do it in weird ways, because America is weird. There's just certain things I don't understand why we all don't do. So we all have electricity. We all measure things. Everybody does. We should have there should be a standard system. There should have never been a foot and then like inches, like foot and then like yards or meters. There should have just been one straight thing, and that should have been it. I don't understand, like it. There's no reason for that. And then another thing is there's no reason why there's different outlets. Like, I should be able to charge my iPhone here in America the same exact way I plug it in Australia. there's no you know, like it doesn't make any sense of why that's something, because we all use it. And there's also another thing, like you would think that as humans we would all want to have a standardized language too. You wouldn't think that we would want to be so isolated, like, but I mean, yeah, I don't know, but I guess but isn't that also kind of normal that humans want to be isolated and just be in small groups? Because maybe I guess that is, because like that goes back to what the herd mentality, the herd theory, where like most herds only had like 144 people or 150 people, because it was just big enough that you're able to make things and be able to grow things and hunt things and be able to have a constant ability to maintain resources, versus like without going overboard and having too big, and then like diseases and like lack of food and those kind of things occur. A lack of ability to mate as well, those kind of things. But I don't know. What am I even talking about? I have no clue. Just sitting here, just talking. Mate, just talking. What's so funny? I looked on here and I said 20 minutes. And I'm like, oh yeah, I've been doing this podcast for almost 20 minutes. Like, hell yeah, this podcast is pretty easy. Then I looked over here because there's another camera, and that one actually goes by how many minutes has gone by that is actually recorded. And it was like only at 10 minutes. I'm like, oh, John, you still have 20 more minutes. But I hope you guys are doing good. It's COVID is done, maybe. I don't know. I'm kind of getting out of that window of like, what are they? Because I did have it. I don't know if I ever told you guys. I think I had it. Actually, I'm pretty sure I had it because my friend who I hung out with all the time during that time got it like right after I was sick, and so they're like, I'm pretty sure I got it from you. I'm like, all right, well then, But yeah, I didn't have any like sicknesses or anything like that. I just had like a stuffy nose and I coughed a bunch. I think that's when I lost. That might have been around when I lost my voice. Was that right when I lost my voice? Remember those episodes when I lost my voice? Might have been around that time. I don't know. I didn't like surprise guys. I didn't have to tell you guys and like make a big deal about it. Like, I got COVID. Oh my god. Please pray for me. I hope you. I didn't. It just was. It is what it was. It happened. I just went along with my life. Isolated. Antibiotics. Slept. Chilled. Did my thing. Didn't make a big deal about it. Just kind of. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. So, like, my fault. When I started this podcast, I write down a list of stuff that I'm like, okay, fall back. If you don't know what to talk about, if you're not able just to ramble, go to your list of things. And so I'm like, what? And I normally look at it before it, so I at least have an idea in my head, so I can at least do like a mental checklist of like, okay, well, I can talk about this, or this, and I can just go, and it's just like a flowing thing. Well, I didn't do that before this episode started. So what I've been doing is I've been like looking over here, rereading what it was. I'm like, everyone's anyone left-handed? I'm left-handed. This guy who wrote the song is left-handed. So hilarious thing. So I work at a retirement resort. Work at the kitchen in there, and well, every once in a while, like when I come out of the kitchen, I'll see on Fridays we have like a happy hour, like an hour before dinner, or they usually, like, the older people, they drink alcohol. We have like a live entertainment, so there's usually a band that comes in, or like a guitar player or a musician who like does multiple things. And we had this guy come in. He was clearly drunk, and he was playing the guitar. And he's like, hey, is there anyone left-handed? And let me tell you something. He's playing a right-handed guitar, so let me start there. So he's like, is there anyone left-handed? And no one like says anything because like, it's a bunch of old white people. And like the thing, brown people. Okay, this is a brown. Okay, white people, sit down for a moment. I'm gonna talk to brown people. So this thing happened to me because this is what happens when you get adopted. Even like when you are just around white people. I got adopted by white people, so it's just one of those things that happen. It's just one of the little side effects that occur. But one of the things in the white culture is like when they listen to music, the quieter and the more still they are, and it's almost like they try not to move, because if they move, it's almost like they're afraid that someone's going to think like, are you feeling it? Are you trying to dance? It's like they're almost afraid they're going to get made fun of. But so like when you see white people at concerts, they will just sit there and they'll just like, there'll be no expression, and then until the song is over, and then they'll clap. It is the weirdest fucking thing. It is so weird. It is so weird because I remember like going to bluegrass concerts like that with my parents because they fucking love that shit, and then going to college and being around a bunch of black and brown people and going to concerts with them, and like I'm just like kind of sitting there, kind of just like slightly bobbing my head, but not like really doing any movements, and everyone's dancing and everything. That like, John, are you mad? I'm like, no, I'm not mad. I'm having a lot of fun. They're like, your body language doesn't say that. So it's just like, I'm like, oh, and then I was at a barbershop like several years later, and it was a black barbershop, and somehow there was like some bluegrass thing on, and like it cut to the audience, and it was like these people playing bluegrass, and the white people would just be like just staring at it, like making no facial expressions, acting like they don't like it, acting like they almost were disgusted that they spent all this money to go to this thing and all the time and effort to get there. And I'm like, that's it. Like, see, guys, I told all the black people, I'm like, hey, guys, look at this. This is like, you can tell that all the white people are having all the fun because they're not moving. The least amount of movement that white people have when going to concerts, the better. That's how you can tell they're having the most fun. Yeah, it's the ones where like when you go to the concerts and like you see those white people dancing, other white people are like, what? Why are they dancing? Like, don't they understand that we can just stand here and just enjoy the music? It's just swear to God, just good times. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to educate you guys, and even on other stuff. And then another thing, Hondurans roll their tacos. We don't fold them. And we do some bomb-ass fried chicken. That too. But anyway, so back to... Don't you love? I went on this huge tangent to go back to this drunken musician at my job. So this drunken musician at my job, he was like, hey, is anyone left-handed? Anyone. No one was saying anything. And then, he's like, I'm left-handed. And I'm like, he's playing a right-hand guitar though. And I kind of stopped. I looked at it. I'm like, okay, what else is going to say here? He's like, the guy who wrote this song is left-handed. And then he goes right into playing the next song. It was like the most weirdest segue I ever heard. Ever. But yeah, that was a thing. Oh, Freebird. Yeah, the song Freebird. If we're gonna say on music, I'm just gonna say it. It's one of the I don't get it. It's one of the worst songs ever written. It's just like this huge build up to this. What it is just like a slow build up to the crescendo of like a group of men who took acid at the same time, because like that whole breakdown of like that just instrumental, the instrumental is just like a collaboration of men just being super baked. I'm like, that is just like, that's what it is. That's what it is to be on high on LSD. That's all it is. That's what it is. It's just a collaboration of men just banging on shit. You can just tell like dude, they're clearly all on drugs here, and because they would have continued singing. I don't think they would have just started jamming the fuck out. Like, who thinks of just jamming out for 6 minutes? It doesn't make any fucking sense. I don't understand people who like that music. I don't understand people who like basically any music. I don't like any music. Like I can barely like making this the stallion or the Listalia. I don't fucking know what it is. I'm not even act here. I'm not gonna even sit here and act here like I know. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know what her name is. Just listen to her stuff for the first time. I'm like, okay. I mean, that's pretty cool. I'm like, this is pretty hard. I'm like, this is cool. It's just like, I don't know. It just music don't do it. Music don't do nothing for me. It's just annoying. People who whistle annoys the shit out of me. I'm like, why are you trying to be a bird? Like, you're in a building right now, man. There's all these places. Do that in a car by yourself. I can't imagine being someone who whistles in a car by themselves while they're driving. Like, it's like, you're just like, what the fuck are you like? How can you fucking zone the fuck out like that? I would almost be afraid I was going to crash the car because it's just like, aren't you afraid you're going to get lightheaded and just pass out? Like just blowing out all that air. It's like, good googly moogly, buddy. It's like, geez, you don't have to be fucking doing that. I think it's just because I used to work with someone who used to whistle all the time. And then like that person would always be like, yeah. You'd be in a car, somebody, and they would just like, yeah, you'd be like, what the fuck? Just killed the conversation, just killed what we were talking about. Like it's like, what the fuck is going on here? What's going on? What else? What else? Why the whole jam session? It really is funny how we aren't taught. Oh, I mean, I guess it's not funny. Isn't it weird though? We're taught all these things. We're barely taught anything actually in high school, in American high school. But there's things like taxes. I remember being taught how to do a check in the 4th grade. Never did a check after the 4th grade because, you know why? Because debit cards came around. There's debit cards. And it's like, well, there's absolutely no reason at all. Remember before debit cards, you used to have like the card where you could go to like your ATM, like an ATM, and it was almost like you pushed in like a normal card, and then you could deposit and you could like get money out of your account that way, but you couldn't use it like an actual credit card or anything like that. I don't know. I guess I'm that old. I guess that gives away my age. I guess something like that. It's not a COVID cough. I guess it can be because I told you guys I had COVID, so it's like impossible for it to happen now again. And that's what they say, right? Knocking on wood. Yeah, but they never taught us to do taxes. Like, how did anyone else learn to do that? Is it just like their parents taught them how to do it? Did your parents just do it for you until like they got to an age where they're like, maybe you should do it now? And they just brought you along, and they're like, maybe you should just. And it's like, it's so funny. It's like none of us are taught, and it's not really. I guess it's not really fucking hard. You can go to like a H&R Block and then be like, here's this little piece of paper they give you, and then you give them your driver's license, and that's it. It's weird. I mean, it's an odd thing. I guess it's not odd. It's just necessary. It's funny. Just like oh man, because like my parents are retired, so like they have to like keep all the receipts, and then they do like write-offs and stuff, and so like my mom, like the other day she called me, she's like, yeah, today's the day where I have to do all that, and I have to like sit down and like separate everything. It's like, oh good googly god, oh good. But it's like, if that's like the least thing you gotta do, it's like, it's not super hard. I mean, it's like one day. It's like one day of hard work to be able to like live comfortably and like have like a structured system of like having an income, which is not, I guess it's not terrible, because it could be worse. Could be worse, couldn't it? Could be way worser. Could be way worser. So like what? What else? What else do I have? Was it St. Patrick's Day? Was, I guess, kind of technically today that I started recording. I guess it'll still be St. Patrick's Day when this podcast is over. but it's Happy St. Patrick's Day. Irish people, I guess they were kind of slaves too. I mean, I guess they were kind of slaves. It was so funny because like they had the potato famine, and they couldn't grow potatoes, and then they couldn't fish, and then everything they fished they had to give to England. Am I right? I'm guessing. You know what? Like we should. What? Maybe let me look at that up. Like, why? Let's look at this. Isn't it gonna be funny? Why didn't the Irish fish? Yeah, that's like literally the first thing. That's literally the first thing that comes up. Why didn't the Irish fish? Irish and the famine. The question is often asked, why didn't Irish eat more fish during the famine? A lot of energy is required to work as a fisherman. Because people were starving, they did not have the energy and they would not be required to go fishing. Held up nets and dragged them to the boat. Wow, that's funny. Huh, you know what? And I thought it was just simply because I thought, I guess they were just like, well, if we just make them fucking weak, then we don't have to worry about them at all. So it really doesn't matter. Wow, that's quite interesting. I did not know that. Huh. This whole time, literally my whole life, I've literally thought that the reason why they didn't fish was just simply because, like, if they wouldn't fish, then they would have to give that to England during that time. Or they didn't. So that's fucking crazy. Wait, when was the famine? Let's look that up. When was the Irish famine? When was the Irish potato famine? Yeah, it was in 1845 to 1852. Yeah. It's so funny, like, then 1853 happened and like all the potatoes just started growing back. They're like, I think it's about that time. I think we should probably just start going. The Great Famine, also called the Irish Potato Famine, Great Irish Famine, or Famine of 1845-95. 1845 to 1845 to 1849. I greatly apologize, guys. Famine that occurred in Ireland, and they're going to repeat it again. 1845 to 1849, when the potato crops failed to harvest yield. The crop failure were caused by light, bolt, and disease that destroyed both the leaves and the edible roots and the potato plant. That's fucking interesting. Then there was a Chinese famine in 1958 to 1961. Are you serious? What the hell is this about? My God, the Great Chinese Famine. 3 years of Great Famine was a period between 1959 and 1961 in history of People Republic of China, PRC. Worldwide famine. Some scholars also included the year 1958 or 1962. Total deaths 15 to okay, this is a huge number, guys. You want to know how many people died during the Great Chinese Famine? 15 or maybe 55 million people. So who knows? That's a great fucking number, but I didn't even know this occurred either. Holy shit. Isn't that crazy? Like, all these things occur, and we're just like a small dot of humanity. Like the COVID, we're gonna be the COVID pandemic of 2020 to 2020 something. You know, like it isn't. That's what we're gonna be part of. It's like the people of 2020. Some of them would wear masks, some would not. Who would know? I don't know. But anyway, guys, I have like 18 seconds left. If you gotten this far, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. We kind of pulled it off on the very end. That famine stuff, maybe I should do more history stuff. Anyway, I'll see you guys on the next episode. Alright, bye. Be safe. Wash your hands. Brush your teeth.